Commander Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Mercy, watching the stars streak by through the main viewport. The massive white ship, marked with red crosses and the United Earth emblem, led 6 other vessels just like it. Each carried doctors, medicine, and hope for the dying people of Proxima Centauri. "Commander, all systems are running smoothly. We'll reach Proxima in 6 days," said Lieutenant Parker, not looking up from his control panel. Elena nodded. "Good. The sooner we arrive, the more lives we can save." 20 years ago, humans had joined the Galactic Conclave, a group of alien species who worked together in peace. Earth wanted to show they belonged among the stars. This mission to help the Centaurians fight a deadly plague was their chance to prove it. In her private quarters that evening, Elena looked at a photo of her daughter, Layla. The 10-year-old girl smiled back at her from the screen, dark curls framing her face. "I miss you, sweetheart," Elena whispered, touching the image. "2 more weeks and I'll be home, I promise." Her communication device beeped. It was Dr. Amari Khan, the mission's chief doctor. "Commander, you should see this," Dr. Khan said, her face serious. "The latest scans show the plague is spreading faster than we thought. Nearly 1 million Centaurians died just today." Elena's stomach tightened. "Can our medicines still help?" "Yes, but we need to hurry. And we'll need to use everything we brought." "We'll get there in time, Amari, I promise." Later that night, Elena couldn't sleep. She walked the quiet halls of the Mercy, nodding to crew members on night shift. The ship hummed softly around her. Each room she passed held amazing medical technology and brave people willing to travel light years to help strangers. On the observation deck, she found Dr. Khan staring at the passing stars. "Trouble sleeping?" Elena asked. Dr. Khan smiled sadly. "I keep thinking about those people waiting for us. They don't even know we're coming. The Conclave said they told the Centaurian leaders about us. Still, it must be horrible, watching your people die while hoping aliens you've never met will save you." Elena put her hand on the doctor's shoulder. "That's why our mission matters so much." As they talked, neither of them knew about the message coming into the communication center. Lieutenant Parker frowned at his screen. Intelligence reports showed Vraxian ships near Proxima Centauri. The Vraxians were a problem. They were reptilian aliens with scaly red skin and sharp teeth. They hated that humans had joined the Conclave. They said humans were too young, too primitive to sit among advanced species. Parker sent the report to Elena's device with a note. "Should we be worried?" In her quarters, Elena read the report and called the Conclave representative on Earth. "They're just routine patrols," the blue-skinned alien assured her. "The Vraxians would never attack a medical mission. It would break our most sacred laws." Elena wasn't so sure. "Can you send us an escort, just to be safe?" "That would send the wrong message, Commander. Trust me, even the Vraxians respect medical ships." After ending the call, Elena recorded a message for her daughter. "Hello, my star. We're making good progress. Soon we'll help the sick people, and then I'll come home with amazing stories. I love you to the edge of the universe and back." Behind her, through the viewport, distant stars shifted as 3 Vraxian warships silently changed course to intercept the Mercy and her convoy. They fired on a rescue convoy. Earth launched a total retaliation. Part 1. The Outreach Commander Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Mercy, watching the stars streak by through the main viewport. The massive white ship, marked with red crosses and the United Earth emblem, led 6 other vessels just like it. Each carried doctors, medicine, and hope for the dying people of Proxima Centauri. "Commander, all systems are running smoothly. We'll reach Proxima in 6 days," said Lieutenant Parker, not looking up from his control panel. Elena nodded. "Good. The sooner we arrive, the more lives we can save." 20 years ago, humans had joined the Galactic Conclave, a group of alien species who worked together in peace. Earth wanted to show they belonged among the stars. This mission to help the Centaurians fight a deadly plague was their chance to prove it. In her private quarters that evening, Elena looked at a photo of her daughter, Layla. The 10-year-old girl smiled back at her from the screen, dark curls framing her face. "I miss you, sweetheart," Elena whispered, touching the image. "2 more weeks and I'll be home, I promise." Her communication device beeped. It was Dr. Amari Khan, the mission's chief doctor. "Commander, you should see this," Dr. Khan said, her face serious. "The latest scans show the plague is spreading faster than we thought. Nearly 1 million Centaurians died just today." Elena's stomach tightened. "Can our medicines still help?" "Yes, but we need to hurry. And we'll need to use everything we brought." "We'll get there in time, Amari, I promise." Later that night, Elena couldn't sleep. She walked the quiet halls of the Mercy, nodding to crew members on night shift. The ship hummed softly around her. Each room she passed held amazing medical technology and brave people willing to travel light years to help strangers. On the observation deck, she found Dr. Khan staring at the passing stars. "Trouble sleeping?" Elena asked. Dr. Khan smiled sadly. "I keep thinking about those people waiting for us. They don't even know we're coming. The conclave said they told the Centaurian leaders about us. Still, it must be horrible, watching your people die while hoping aliens you've never met will save you." Elena put her hand on the doctor's shoulder. "That's why our mission matters so much." As they talked, neither of them knew about the message coming into the communication center. Lieutenant Parker frowned at his screen. Intelligence reports showed Vraxian ships near Proxima Centauri. The Vraxians were a problem. They were reptilian aliens with scaly red skin and sharp teeth. They hated that humans had joined the conclave. They said humans were too young, too primitive to sit among advanced species. Parker sent the report to Elena's device with a note. "Should we be worried?" In her quarters, Elena read the report and called the conclave representative on Earth. "They're just routine patrols," the blue-skinned alien assured her. "The Vraxians would never attack a medical mission. It would break our most sacred laws." Elena wasn't so sure. "Can you send us an escort, just to be safe?" "That would send the wrong message, Commander. Trust me, even the Vraxians respect medical ships." After ending the call, Elena recorded a message for her daughter. "Hello, my star. We're making good progress. Soon we'll help the sick people, and then I'll come home with amazing stories. I love you to the edge of the universe and back." Behind her, through the viewport, distant stars shifted as 3 Vraxian warships silently changed course to intercept the Mercy and her convoy. 3 days later, the engines of the Mercy slowed as the convoy dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The 7 white medical ships drifted to a stop in the empty space between stars. "Standard system check," Commander Elena Reyes announced over the ship-wide channel. "We'll resume course in 30 minutes. In the main medical bay, Dr. Amari Khan studied the latest information about the Centaurian plague. The blue-skinned aliens were dying by the thousands every hour. Their immune systems couldn't fight the disease. "We need to adjust the treatment," she told her team, pointing to the screen. "Their body temperature is higher than our model showed." A young doctor nodded. "I'll recalibrate the medicine right away." Throughout the convoy, doctors and nurses prepared their equipment. Engineers checked the portable hospitals they would set up on the planet. Everyone felt proud to be part of this mission that would save millions of lives. On the bridge, Lieutenant Parker suddenly straightened in his chair. "Commander, I'm picking up strange readings." Elena walked quickly to his station. "What kind of readings?" "Energy spikes. All around us. But there's nothing." The space around them shimmered as 3 massive Vraxian warships appeared. Their red and black hulls were covered with weapons. They had been invisible, hiding with their cloaking technology. "Battle stations," Elena shouted, though she knew it was pointless. The Mercy had no weapons. None of the medical ships did. First blast hit the smallest ship in the convoy. Its shields flickered weakly, then failed. The ship broke apart in a silent explosion. "This is Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth Medical Convoy Mercy," she broadcast on all frequencies. "We are unarmed medical vessels on a humanitarian mission. Please cease fire immediately." The only answer was another blast that tore through 2 more ships. Doctors, nurses, and medicine meant to save lives were now floating debris in space. "Send the distress signal to Earth," Elena ordered. "And to the Conclave," Lieutenant Parker worked frantically at his console. "The Vraxians are jamming our long-range communications. The Hope, the ship carrying the main supply of the cure for the plague, tried to escape. It turned and accelerated away from the attack. 2 Vraxian ships followed it like hungry predators. On the Mercy, people ran to the escape pods, but there wasn't enough time. Another blast rocked the ship and emergency alarms blared. "Get to the AI core," Elena told Lieutenant Parker. "Save the mission logs and all evidence of the attack. Use the quantum transmitter. They can't block that." As Parker ran from the bridge, Elena activated her spacesuit. The ship was breaking apart around her. The air was escaping through massive holes in the 3 weeks passed before Elena's final message reached Earth. The quantum transmission traveled faster than light, but still needed time to cross the vast distance from where the convoy had been destroyed. In the United Nations Security Council chamber in New York, 50 world leaders sat in stunned silence. On the large screen before them, they watched Commander Elena Reyes's last moments. They saw the unprovoked attack, the destruction of the medical ships, and the deaths of over 300 doctors, nurses, and crew members. "This is deliberate murder," said the Secretary General, her voice shaking with anger. "They attacked clearly marked medical ships on a humanitarian mission." Admiral William Chen sat in the back of the room, his face like stone. His sister, Dr. Lisa Chen, had been on the Hope, the ship carrying the cure for the Centaurian plague. Now she was gone, along with everyone else on the mission. The Vraxian representative, a tall reptilian alien with red scales and yellow eyes, stood up to speak. "The Empire deeply regrets this unfortunate incident," he said, not sounding sorry at all. "Our ships mistook your vessels for smugglers. We offer payment for your losses." Many people in the room gasped at these cold words. Admiral Chen clenched his fists. After the meeting, Chen went to military intelligence headquarters. He needed to know the truth. "The attack was no mistake," said Colonel Ortiz, showing him classified data. "Our spy satellites picked up Vraxian communications. They knew exactly what they were attacking." "But why?" Chen asked. "Why attack doctors?" "Because the Vraxians want the Centaurians to die out. They see them as weak, and they don't want Earth to gain influence by saving them." Chen felt cold anger building inside him. "How many Centaurians have died so far?" 2 billion. And without our cure, billions more will follow. That night, millions of people across Earth gathered in public squares. They held candles and pictures of the convoy crew members. The attack had united humanity in grief like nothing before. In her bedroom, in San Francisco, 13-year-old Layla Reyes watched the news about her mother's death. She held the last gift her mother had given her, a star-shaped locket with their picture inside. Meanwhile, Admiral Chen presented his findings to the Emergency Council. He showed proof that the Vraxians had deliberately attacked the convoy, knowing they were medical ships. "The Vraxians think we are weak," he told the world leaders. "They believe that because we focus on healing and exploration, we cannot fight. They are wrong." The Secretary General nodded slowly. "For 20 years, we have played by the Conclave's rules. We joined their peaceful alliance in good faith, but now we see that some species mistake kindness for weakness." She stood up and looked at each leader in turn. "We must respond to this attack, not just for our dead, but for the billions of Centaurians who will die without our help." The vote was unanimous. Earth would withdraw from the Conclave's non-aggression treaty. In a broadcast to all nations, the Secretary General made Earth's position clear. They targeted those who came to heal. They murdered our doctors, our healers, our best people. They mistook our compassion for weakness. They will not make that mistake again. Across Earth, military bases that had been quiet for years suddenly came alive. Ships that had been built, but never used, were prepared for launch. The planet that had sent doctors to the stars was now preparing to send soldiers. "We accept your apology," the Secretary General told the Vraxian ambassador with a polite smile. Earth understands that accidents happen, even in space. The red-scaled alien nodded, pleased with himself. The humans were behaving just as the Vraxian Empire had expected, soft, forgiving, weak. But this public face of acceptance was a lie. Behind closed doors, Admiral William Chen was put in charge of Operation Righteous Response. It would be the biggest military action in human history. The Vraxians believe we've accepted their story, Chen told the gathered military leaders. That gives us time to prepare properly. Across the solar system, factories that had been quiet for years roared back to life. On Mars, huge underground, facilities began building warships. In the asteroid belt, mining stations harvested metals for weapons. On Europa, scientists worked on special technology that had been developed but never used. The Vraxians have never seen humans fight, said General Santos during a planning meeting. They've only met our doctors, teachers, and diplomats. Admiral Chen nodded. And they don't understand our history. Humans fought each other for thousands of years before we found peace. We know war better than they can imagine. One evening, Chen visited the memorial for the convoy victims in Washington, D.C. Thousands of candles surrounded photos of the 347 people who had died trying to save others. Chen stood before his sister's picture, lost in thought. "Which one was your family?" asked a young voice. Chen turned to see a teenage girl with dark curly hair. He recognized her immediately. Layla Reyes, Commander Elena's daughter. "My sister, Lisa," he said, pointing to a smiling woman in a doctor's uniform. She was on the Hope. Layla touched the star-shaped locket around her neck. "My mom was on the Mercy. She was the commander." They stood in silence for a moment. "Are you going to make them pay?" Layla finally asked. "The aliens who killed them?" Chen chose his words carefully. "We're going to make sure justice is done. Mom always said that helping others was the most important thing a person could do," Layla said. "That's why she led the mission, to help." Chen nodded. "My sister said the same thing. She was so excited to save the Centaurians." As they talked, engineers on Titan were finishing work on a special project, tiny machines called nanobots, originally designed to repair human bodies from the inside. They had been modified for a very different purpose. "These won't hurt any Vraxians," the lead scientist explained to military observers. "But they'll shut down their technology. Every ship, weapon, and defense system will simply stop working." In space, small civilian ships quietly left the solar system, traveling along normal trade routes. Each carried a hidden cargo of the special nanobots, seeding them throughout Vraxian space. The Vraxians noticed none of this. Their spies reported that Earth seemed to be accepting the accident story. There were some new military ships being built, but nothing serious. Certainly nothing that could threaten the mighty Vraxian Empire. 6 months after the attack, Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of Earth's newest warship, the Justice. Behind him were 40 other vessels, a small force compared to the Vraxian fleet. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said his second-in-command. Chen looked at the picture of his sister he kept on his uniform. "Then let's begin. Set course for Vraxian space." High Admiral Krazak of the Vraxian Empire looked at the holographic display with amusement. The human ships were approaching the edge of Vraxian space, just 41 vessels, a tiny force compared to the 300 warships he commanded. "They send this pitiful fleet to challenge us?" he laughed, showing his sharp teeth. "These humans truly don't understand war." His officers joined in his laughter. The humans were known throughout the galaxy as peaceful explorers and healers. Now they thought they could fight the mighty Vraxian Empire. "Shall we destroy them all at once, Admiral?" asked his second-in-command. "Or draw it out to teach them a lesson?" Krazak considered. "Let them come deeper into our territory. Then we will surround them and crush them. The galaxy should see what happens to those who challenge us." On board the Justice, Admiral Chen watched the Vraxian fleet movements on his screen. They were exactly as expected, arrogant, overconfident, and completely unaware of what was about to happen. "They think this is our entire force," Chen told his officers. "They see our ships but don't understand our true strategy. For months, human civilian trading vessels had visited ports across Vraxian space. Each ship released millions of tiny nanobots, machines too small to see with the naked eye. These nanobots were now everywhere in Vraxian territory, waiting for the signal to activate. All ships maintain course, Chen ordered. Prepare for Operation Shutdown in 3 hours. Meanwhile, another Earth ship was heading toward Proxima Centauri. The Mercy 2 carried a new team of doctors led by Dr. Amari Khan. She had missed the first convoy due to illness, a twist of fate that had saved her life. "We're carrying enough medicine for everyone," she told her team. "We won't let any more Centaurians die." Protected by 10 Earth warships, the Mercy 2 would finally deliver the cure that the original convoy had carried. The Centaurian leaders, who had nearly given up hope, didn't yet know help was coming. Back in Vraxian space, Admiral Krazak ordered his fleet to move into position. 300 massive warships formed a sphere around the small human fleet, their weapons powered up, ready to fire. "Send them a message," Krazak ordered. "Tell them to surrender immediately or be destroyed." On the Justice, Admiral Chen received the message and smiled. "It's time. Activate the nanobots." An officer pressed a button, sending a signal throughout Vraxian space. Suddenly, on every Vraxian ship, the lights flickered and went out. Weapons powered down. Engines stopped. Communication systems went silent. In his flagship, Admiral Krazak shouted in confusion as his controls died under his hands. "What's happening? Get emergency power online." But nothing worked. The nanobots, originally designed by humans to repair human bodies, had been reprogrammed to disable Vraxian technology. They attacked power systems, computer controls, and weapons. Nothing could stop them. Throughout Vraxian space, their mighty warships drifted helplessly. Their fearsome defenses were now useless. Their empire, built on military might, had been defeated without a single shot being fired. Admiral Chen's voice broadcast on all Vraxian frequencies, the only working communication system in their space. "This is Admiral William Chen of Earth. Your empire is now defenseless. You fired on our doctors. Now you will face justice." The Vraxian ships drifted silently in space, dark and powerless. On his flagship, High Admiral Krazak raged in the dim. Emergency lighting, nothing worked, not weapons, not engines, not even simple communication devices. How did they do this? He demanded, though no one had an answer. Aboard the Justice, Admiral Chen prepared his next move. Earth ships surrounded the helpless Vraxian fleet. "Open a galaxy-wide broadcast channel," Chen ordered. "Make sure every species in the conclave can see and hear this." Engineers set up special equipment. Soon Chen's message would reach not just the Vraxians but every world in the galaxy. "This is Admiral William Chen of Earth," he began, his face appearing on screens across thousands of planets. 6 months ago, the Vraxian Empire attacked an unarmed Earth medical convoy headed to help the Centaurian people. They murdered 347 doctors, nurses, and crew members who came only to heal. Chen played the recording from Commander Reyes's final transmission. Billions of beings throughout the galaxy watched in horror as the Vraxian ships deliberately destroyed the clearly marked medical vessels. "The Vraxian leadership claimed this was a mistake," Chen continued. "That was a lie." Next, he showed secret Vraxian communications that Earth intelligence had intercepted. The recordings proved the attack was planned. Worse, they revealed a terrible truth. The Vraxians had created the plague that was killing the Centaurians. The Vraxian Empire engineered a biological weapon to destroy the Centaurian civilization, Chen explained. Then they attacked our medical ships to ensure no cure would reach the dying. Across Vraxian worlds, civilians watched in shock. Their government had told them nothing about attacking medical ships or creating a plague. Most Vraxian people believed they were a superior species, but few supported the murder of doctors or biological warfare. On the Vraxian homeworld, protests began in the streets. Younger Vraxians, who had questioned their society's military focus, now had proof their leaders had committed terrible crimes. In the Galactic Conclave, representatives from 200 species held an emergency meeting. They had been reluctant to get involved in what they saw as a dispute between Earth and the Vraxian Empire. Now they couldn't ignore the evidence. Earth's response shows remarkable restraint, said the Arcturian representative, a tall blue being. They disabled the Vraxian military without killing anyone. Indeed, agreed the Rigelian speaker. They could have destroyed the Vraxian fleet, but instead chose to stop them without bloodshed. The conclave voted unanimously to support Earth's actions and to help the Centaurians. On the Justice, Admiral Chen received the news with quiet satisfaction. Earth had won both the military and moral victory. But one question remained. What to do next? He looked at a photo of his sister and Commander Reyes together at the Space Academy years ago. Both had wanted to help others. Both had died trying to save lives. What would you want me to do now, Lisa? He whispered to his sister's image. Chen had the power to destroy the entire Vraxian civilization. Their ships were helpless. Their defenses were down. Earth could take revenge for their fallen heroes with a single order. But as he looked at his sister's smiling face, he knew what she would say. Even in victory, remember who we are. Earth ships surrounded the Vraxian homeworld 3 days later. With no working weapons or shields, the planet that had never known defeat was now defenseless. We could destroy them all, said General Santos, standing beside Admiral Chen on the bridge of the Justice. Make them pay for every life they took. Chen shook his head. That would make us like them. We're better than that. Instead, Earth forces landed on the Vraxian homeworld and arrested the military leadership. High Admiral Krazak and 20 other top commanders were taken into custody. They would face trial for their crimes against the Centaurians and the Earth convoy. You will be judged according to conclave law, Chen told Krazak as the Vraxian leader was led away in restraints. You'll receive a fair trial, something you never gave our doctors. Krazak hissed in anger. You should have killed me. Showing mercy is weakness. No, Chen replied. It's strength. The strongest warriors are those who know when not to fight. Meanwhile, at Proxima Centauri, the Mercy II arrived with its precious cargo of medicine. Dr. Amari Khan led the medical teams to the surface where millions of sick Centaurians waited for help. We come from Earth, she told the Centaurian leaders. We bring the cure your people need. A tall, blue-skinned Centaurian bowed deeply. After so many died, we thought no one would help us. The first convoy tried, Dr. Khan explained. They were attacked before they could reach you. But we made a promise to help, and we keep our promises. As the medicine was distributed, the plague finally began to slow. Millions who would have died were saved. The grateful Centaurians announced they would build a great memorial for the first convoy. 347 pillars of light, one for each person, who died trying to save them. Back on Earth, Layla Reyes watched the news about the Vraxian surrender. Now 14 years old, she had decided to become a doctor like those who had served with her mother. Your mother would be proud, Admiral Chen told her when they met again. Would she agree with how you handled the Vraxians? Layla asked. Chen nodded. I think so. We stopped them without becoming like them. On Vraxian worlds, change was happening. Young Vraxians, inspired by Earth's show of both power and restraint, started questioning their society's old ways. They adopted a new symbol, a red cross inside a star like those on the medical ships, and a motto taken from Commander Reyes's final message. We came to heal. The Galactic Conclave invited Layla to speak at their meeting. Though nervous, she stood tall before representatives of 200 species. My mother believed that helping others was our highest calling, she told them. She died trying to save people she had never met. That is humanity's true strength, not our weapons or our technology, but our compassion. Her words touched hearts across the galaxy. Many species who had viewed humans as strange newcomers now saw them differently, a young species with both the power to defeat enemies and the wisdom to show mercy. As the trial of the Vraxian leaders began, Admiral Chen kept his promise that justice would be fair. The galaxy watched as humans, who had every reason to seek revenge, instead chose to uphold the rule of law. 5 years passed. The galaxy had changed in ways no one could have imagined before the attack on the medical convoy. On a bright morning, in Geneva, Admiral William Chen, now retired, walked through the campus of the Reyes Academy for Interstellar Diplomacy. The school had been built to train people who would represent Earth throughout the stars. Students from many species filled the walkways between beautiful buildings. Humans studied alongside Centaurians, Arcturians, and even a few young Vraxians. Chen entered a large classroom where 30 students waited for him. Today was his first day as a teacher. "My name is William Chen," he began. "Some of you know me as the Admiral who led Earth's response to the Vraxian attack." The students watched him with wide eyes. His name was in history books now. That day we showed the galaxy two things about humanity. First, that we can be fierce when protecting the innocent. Second, that we understand true strength includes mercy. In orbit around Proxima Centauri, a gleaming white ship prepared for launch. The second Mercy was the newest and largest medical vessel ever built. It carried doctors from Earth, Centauri, and surprisingly, Vraxia. On the bridge stood Captain Layla Reyes, now 20 years old. She had changed her plans. Instead of becoming a doctor, she had trained to command ships like her mother. "All systems ready, Captain," said her first officer, a young Vraxian named Tarek. Tarek's family had opposed the war and the attack on the first convoy. Now he worked alongside the daughter of the woman his people had killed. It wasn't always easy, but it was important. "Set course for the Rigel system," Layla ordered. "They're suffering from floods and need medical help." The second Mercy carried a plague cure to the memorial that stood on Centauri. 347 crystal pillars that glowed blue at night, one for each person lost on the first convoy. At the center was a statue of Commander Elena Reyes and Dr. Lisa Chen, their hands outstretched in friendship. The Vraxian Empire had changed too. After the trial, where its leaders were found guilty and imprisoned, the Vraxians formed a new government. They still had a strong military, but now they also had civilian leaders who believed in cooperation instead of conquest. The greatest change, though, was how the galaxy viewed humans. Before, other species had seen Earth as a young, perhaps naive, world. They respected human kindness but didn't understand human strength. Now they understood. Humans were not simple. They could heal with one hand and fight with the other. They would travel across stars to save strangers, and they would unleash their full power against those who harmed the innocent. As the second Mercy jumped to faster-than-light travel, Layla touched the star-shaped locket she still wore. Inside was a picture of her mother. "We're continuing your work, Mom," she whispered. Near the captain's chair, a plaque displayed the names of all 347 people from the first convoy. Below their names was an inscription that had become famous throughout the galaxy. They came to heal. We continue their work. And throughout the stars, all intelligent species now understood one important truth about humans. Earth's mercy was a choice, not a weakness. Those who mistook it for weakness would not make that mistake twice.